Okay, we are live now, Gary. Just 2 seconds. If you can just put a yes in the chat, guys, that you can hear me and see me okay. I can see Skull, Denise, Matthew Feast, how you doing? Moniro. You can see a few people already chatting there. So if you can just put a yes that you can hear me okay and see me before I pass over to Gary and start sharing my screen. So I'll just give it a few seconds because there is a slight delay. So just a quick yes in the chat would be great. Hi, Mohammed, how are you doing? Just give it a few seconds. Okay, Susan, thanks for that. I can see you and hear you okay. Thanks, Esther, you can see me and hear me okay. That's great. I'm just checking over on Facebook Live. If anybody can see me on Facebook Live and hear me, if you can put a yes in the chat on Facebook, that'd be great. So all you guys on Facebook, just put a yes in the chat if you can hear me and see me okay. That would be appreciated. Let me just get up my my Q&A, my sort of crib sheet, so I got lots of questions to ask Gary tonight. And any questions you got, everyone, just get them in the chat straight away, so I can start building up Ask Gary himself. So let me just get my main questionnaire up. Just 2 seconds. Okay, I'm ready to go. I got lots of yeses. Thanks for that, Paul, in the Facebook. Ab, thanks for that. And FutureNet Club, thanks for that. You can see me, hear me okay. Okay then, guys, thanks for attending. We normally do this hangout on a Thursday night at 9:00 p.m. UK time. That's going to be every Thursday. I've had a bit of a situation the last couple of days. Thursday and Friday, I was called out onto a networking event at exactly the same time. So there's no way I could get out of that, guys. It was important from a cryptocurrency point of view as well. So I was out there networking, giving out my business cards. So we've done it. We just sort of replacing this Sunday event for Thursday, and see how this goes. We could continue on a Sunday at 9:00. We just want to test the numbers that attend, because some people, there may be sort of more of an audience on a Sunday than it is on a Thursday. It's looking quite good so far. I can see I got 20 people live here on this Hangout software. I got 22 people on YouTube, and I've got that's 42 people. I've also got only 13 people on Facebook so far. So that's about 53 people in total just watching. So that's great. That's a great so far for Sunday. So anyway, going to go straight into it, guys. I'm going to pass you over to the expert in a few seconds, but just a quick introduction on myself. If anyone doesn't know me, my name is Adrian. I'm based in Cardiff in South Wales in the UK. And I've been a property expert myself for the last 20 years since I left school. But I've started to come onto the internet since 2008, started to make a lot of money around 2012 onwards. I lost a lot of money as well, got involved in a lot of things which went wrong, a lot of schemes and scams, which we all do when we are inexperienced. But in the last sort of 18 months, 2 years, I've started to tap into cryptocurrency, the cryptocurrency space, and really started to get really excited about this, about the product itself, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. Started to buy a lot of Bitcoin, sell a lot of Bitcoin, get familiar with all this technology. And I'm really starting to get excited now what's going on within this space. And I just tapped into a guy called Gary Connor, who's on the call now. He's a cryptocurrency expert since many years. And I've known Gary now, it's only really for sort of over a year, but I know he's got some really good reviews. There's nothing bad about him on the internet. And we built a good relationship, and we just had just a bit of a coincidence, bit of luck, really. We teamed up about 5 weeks ago, started talking, and then we decided to kick this off and get this coin called FuelCoin, and sort of revamp it and take it to the next level. It's going really well. So we'll come on to that in a bit, but we're just going to talk about cryptocurrency in general first, and what is cryptocurrency. And obviously Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency to appear. And I'm going to pass you over to Gary now. He can introduce himself and then start sort of talking about what is cryptocurrency, what is Bitcoin first for the beginners, and then we can move on to more technical questions in regards to the blockchain and all other kinds of technology involved. So over to you, Gary Corner. Thanks for that. And if you can just introduce yourself, and after you've introduced yourself, move on to those sort of basic two first questions of what is cryptocurrency and what is Bitcoin. And I'll start. I got a load of other questions then ready for after those two main ones. So over to you, Gary Corner. Thanks a lot.
I appreciate it very much, Adrian. Thank you for putting this together. Everyone, thank you for attending. This is a really exciting time for anybody who is getting this information. The last 3 years have been kind of an up and down in the world of cryptocurrency, but specifically the last 8 months have been incredibly profitable for anybody who did pay attention and is participating in specifically Bitcoin and other projects and platforms. But we're here to talk about Bitcoin, the backbone of the industry. Why? Well, pretty much every other cryptocurrency is based on Bitcoin, which means to purchase other cryptocurrencies, you generally have to buy Bitcoin to purchase other cryptocurrencies. So Bitcoin is going to stay pretty much long-term at the very minimum as the gold standard of cryptocurrency. Now, we're really excited about Bitcoin because it is answering questions all over the world with regards to legalities, regulation, usage. It's also the driving force in mainstream adoption, platforms to accept fiat. Fiat, if nobody knows, is a bank-issued or a government-issued currency. We call it fiat. That's not I call it fake. Fiat, same thing to me. The reason why it's considered fiat is it's not backed by anything more than a promise by a government or a bank or some institution to guarantee that it's going to have some value. Well, anytime they run out of money, what do? Unlike us who stop spending money, they just print more. And that's why we have inflation, because every time the government runs out of money, they just print enough to cover their bills, which is exactly why we have inflation. Now, Bitcoin is a very, very different technology, or should I say the premise. It has a set inflation, and it's set through the mining process, and that allows for stable penetration. It should help with the overall price being generally stable. I'm going to touch on that in a little bit and explain specifically. I mean, yesterday Bitcoin was on Bitstamp was almost $752, and this morning when I looked, it was $716. I'll talk about that in just a moment. But Bitcoin as a whole, the industry is growing at an incredibly rapid pace. What it's doing the same thing to the financial industry that Uber did to the taxi cab business. It is disruptive. And it's disruptive because it takes and eliminates the control of a governing body, aka the banks or a government, and it creates a global world consensus for what its value is and how it's distributed. You don't have to apply for anything to become a member. You can just buy it. You don't even have to give anybody any information. You just get a wallet and you can buy from somebody who has some, or go to local Bitcoins and purchase some Bitcoins. There's other services in different countries like Coinbase that you can link to your bank account to get Bitcoins. But as generally speaking, there isn't any governing body to say you can and cannot do it. And that is really, really tremendous, because there's a lot of countries that have check cashing businesses because there is a great vast number of people who have been disenfranchised from the current banking systems and banking relationships. Well, and it's all because generally of fees. Bitcoin has very small set fees for transferring around. In fact, you can save a tremendous amount of money if you work in Bitcoin, moving money around the world. You're not dealing with the banks 9 to 5 hours and 2 or 3 hours to initiate a wire transfer, and not to mention all the ungodly fees associated to it. You can send $10,000 or $15,000 to from UK to USA in minutes and cost virtually nothing. In fact, Adrian and I pass back and forth pretty much some pretty significant dollar amounts between UK and USA, and it costs nothing, and it's instant, relatively instant, in compared to the banking institution. So the big point here, the reason why people really should pay attention to this, is Bitcoin itself is changing the way we interact with money. And it is literally in my opinion, it is a bigger opportunity as a whole. The cryptocurrency industry as a whole is bigger than Uber, Google, Facebook combined, because it's disrupting. It's like email. What did email do to us transferring mail messages around to the stamp business? The stamp business is virtually gone. Everybody emails. Cryptocurrency is disrupting the greatest industry, and that is the transfer of money. That is the biggest, that's the big kahuna. That's the big one. And it's disrupting that. So the growth potential in Bitcoin over the next 5 to 10 years is astronomical. And as more development in the space happens, the more credible it becomes, and the more people who have success stories like my own and Adrian's and other people I know, more people will come to it. They'll start trusting it. More people who trust it and use it, the more it's worth, because it has a very, very set inflation in the industry itself. Now, I personally came into Bitcoin. I learned about it many, many years ago, and I decided to just go ahead and go all in, which was one of the best things I've ever done in my life a number of years ago, and I bought a whole bunch of them, and technically I don't have to work today because of it. However, I have something in me wants to share this with people. I'm not just satisfied being who I am and living, day to day with no cares in the world about money, which I technically don't. I want to share this success with people. I want people to be able to have the same benefits. And I believe that 2014 was kind of a breakout time. It was fictitious for Bitcoin. It was the wrong. There was some manipulation of the numbers which caused it to get as high as it was. 2015 was tough in general. 2016 has been profitable, successful, and its trend into 2017 is appearing to be incredibly exciting. And that's why listening to this phone call today, anybody in the next couple of months, that's still early on, anybody participating right now will most likely be receiving significant benefits from the information, because more often than not, the first to the trough is the one that gets to drink the most, and that's essentially what's happening today. People who are listening today will be the beneficiaries of tomorrow. So I run a website, an online newspaper about cryptocurrencies, and I am in a unique position to hear industry trends before they become trends. I'm hearing the rumor mills. I know the people who are doing things. I know the movers and shakers in the industry. And so generally I'm in a pretty unique opportunity or unique position to learn about things before they actually happen. I've also done a lot of PR work for different cryptocurrencies, and that's how I became involved in FuelCoin. I was actually doing a PR representation for FuelCoin. But again, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Now, I want to talk about what happened to the price of Bitcoin over the last 24 hours. Well, all of the beautiful things that we love about Bitcoin, I probably shouldn't go here yet, Adrian. Let me answer a few more questions that you guide me into before I get there.
Yeah, okay, no worries. Just let me get any questions, guys. Put them into the chat. We just quickly talked about Bitcoin, sorry, and cryptocurrency back from when it all started. So if you can just explain basically where can people buy Bitcoin, and how do people buy and sell Bitcoin, and then sort of move on to about the how do we tell if a cryptocurrency is fake or if it's real, or we get involved with some kind of scam, and then obviously talk about the blockchain in between that, so we know it's all for real,
Well, let's try to tackle the how to buy Bitcoins. We are talking to a worldwide audience, and every area has its own interface to it. Here in the USA, the best place, Adrian, click me off. I'm repeating. I can't hear myself.
Okay, just 2 seconds. Okay.
So in every country, there is a different way for you to get them. Some are much more difficult, such as South Africa is very difficult to get Bitcoin, as it is in India. However, in the UK and the US, one primary service that we use here in the United States is Coinbase. And that allows us to literally link our checking accounts to Coinbase. And so anytime we want to buy a Bitcoin, they just automatically deduct it out of our banking account, exactly the same way PayPal does. If we want our money back, we sell the Bitcoins through Coinbase, and they deposit it back into our checking account just the way PayPal does. Now, I believe that's available in the UK. Probably the best thing to do if you are interested in purchasing Bitcoins, get a hold of Adrian, and if he doesn't know the answer in your area, we will communicate, and I will help him help you find the answer to that. There's also, obviously person-to-person purchasing, where you can go to a thing called localbitcoins.com. There are people that have Bitcoins around the world that do want to sell them for it's actually usually not a small markup, it's a pretty good markup, but you can actually meet people and buy Bitcoins face-to-face. Now, it'd be best to use services like Coinbase and Exapo and some other different platforms. But, if in your specific area, if you want Bitcoins, ask Adrian, and if he doesn't know the answer, he'll certainly get you the answer through me or some other way. Now, he was asking about, what is a cryptocurrency? Technically speaking, all bank systems, all Visa and MasterCards are a cryptocurrency, in as much they're all handled as numbers on a computer. Cryptocurrency. Well, since the invention of Bitcoin, or the launch of Bitcoin, there's been a break in those terms. Cryptocurrency has lended itself to blockchain technology cryptocurrency, and the bank systems like Visa, MasterCard, and all the world banks are digital currencies. So that's kind of where the separation in those words came from. But before that, bank money was also cryptocurrency because it was computer money. It wasn't physical money in any way, shape, or form. So, but there has been a separation between cryptocurrency and digital money. There are some very specific things that make a cryptocurrency legitimate. And by legitimate, it conforms to all of the regulations that have been set up by many worldwide governments about Bitcoin itself. The similarities are, number one, it has to have a blockchain. It has to be operating on a blockchain. Generally speaking, it also has to be registered on an open public exchange where a person can buy and sell that coin in any quantity, at any time, whenever they want. That's a big one. There's a lot of quote-unquote cryptocurrency multi-level marketing platforms that keep saying that their coin value is this and this and this, and we have a blockchain. No, they actually don't. They have a database just like the banks. It's a digital currency. It's not a blockchain cryptocurrency, and it's not available for sale on a public open exchange. And they, in fact, limit most times how many you can withdraw from their system at a time, and they also limit how many you can sell at a time. Well, any other platform or any other model that I've seen like that, that is called a pyramid or a Ponzi. So there's a huge separation. So be very careful when you're looking into these multi-level marketing concepts. First and foremost, make sure they actually have an external, real-life blockchain technology cryptocurrency. And then also find out or figure out if they are more interested in sign-ups, meaning the only way you get paid is you sign people up, and then you make commissions, because literally they're the only place to make commissions on something that has no margin is just from new signups. Again, pyramid, Ponzi. So that's kind of the big definition there, big differentiation between a real cryptocurrency and a digital currency. Go ahead, Adrian. Can't hear you. Adrian, I can't hear you. I cannot hear you. Nope. Did we lose audio?
Can you hear me now, Gary?
Gotcha.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to leave my mic off mute. So if you get that feedback, you're gonna have to bear with it for now, because the bandwidth on my computer is slowing down. So I don't want to chance anything any further, just in case the software collapses and we all go down. But so if you have got any feedback, you're just gonna have to bear with that for now, if that's okay. Because if I do mute myself, then I'm having trouble in bringing myself out of mute. So for whatever reason.
Gotcha.
But so just bear with me. It's just on a bit of an itch here, but hopefully I'm back now anyway. That's good. Right. So that's let me get some more questions. So one guy is asking in the chat here. He's from Jamaica, and another guy from the Caribbean. Does it make any difference what country you're in? Say the Caribbean, for example. Can you still get Bitcoins in the Caribbean?
You can get the Bitcoins anywhere in the world. The only thing are some mainstream tools available for you to interact with your personal bank accounts. But
Adrian can send you Bitcoins. If there's some way that you can send Adrian money and him be able to send you Bitcoins, you would actually be an owner of Bitcoins. The thing that's really exciting about areas like Jamaica and these other ones that aren't really geared up for Bitcoin, there's a huge opportunity for people who pay attention and figure it out, because it will be coming and it will be very significant. And if you're very early on in those areas and you're helping the most people understand what it does for you, then you will be the person who probably benefits the most.
Okay, that's great, Gary. Let me just get my questions up on the on my chat here. So just bear with me. So we talked about Bitcoin, we talked about cryptocurrency, we talked about the legality of things, if it's a fake or not, if it's for real. Did we touched on the blockchain, Gary? Did we? We touched on that, the blockchain. What is the blockchain?
Yeah, let's do a real quick talk about the blockchain. It's essentially a software algorithm that confirms itself through the power of multiple confirmations, meaning if I purchase a cup of coffee, there to start is 6 computers out there in the world that says and confirms that I did buy a cup of coffee. And then it's followed up by many other computers that verify those computers, making it an unbreakable public transaction, and it gets put on the ledger. The blockchain is just like a checking account where you look at the entries for what was spent. The blockchain does that literally automatically worldwide, and it is confirmed so many times and in so many ways. You cannot manipulate it. You can't crack it. You can't hack it. You can look at the blockchain, Bitcoin specifically. If you want to look at the blockchain.info, you can actually, if you want, look at that ledger from day one. And you can see every single transaction since day one until this very second that has happened the whole time. And in fact, you can sit there and watch transactions happening real time. So it's essentially an open public ledger of every transaction. And that is usually the biggest identifier between a fake cryptocurrency and a real cryptocurrency, because the people with the fake cryptocurrencies can manipulate their numbers. You know, all of a sudden, if they say, well, we have 100,000 coins and they're $1 a piece, and they start selling all of them, they start to run out. Well, all of a sudden they have 200,000, but they only tell everybody they have 100,000. So they can do that with their digital platforms. It cannot be done with a blockchain-based cryptocurrency. If it says there's going to be 100 million coins, and that's all there is, that's it. That's all there will ever be. You can't add any more. You can't take any away. Now, there are some different algorithms that actually have a little bit of a supply that gets added to it to make sure that it doesn't actually run out. But generally speaking, the difference between the digital platforms and the blockchain platforms flat out cannot be changed.
Right. And what about these? You tend to hear these internal blockchains, or you get some coins out there, whether they're MLM related or just a coin on its own. They talk about an internal blockchain. What's all that about? Is that for real, or is that a fake?
Well, it is physically possible to write a blockchain explorer to monitor your own thing. My only issue with that is, what have you got to hide? Why wouldn't you use an external third-party trusted blockchain explorer like chains.cryptoid.info, where many cryptocurrencies have got their blockchains? Why wouldn't you want to do that? What are you hiding? That's my issue. They may have an actual cryptocurrency / blockchain technology product, but if they're not able or willing to share their blockchain, what are they hiding? That would be my concern about that.
Right. You just mentioned that website, chainz.cryptoid.info. I'm sharing my screen. I'm not sure if you can see it. But is this what you call a blockchain? Just for the people new to this, is this what a blockchain is?
This is what we call a blockchain explorer. It's a search engine for blockchains. Now, if you click into any one of those coins listed there, then you're looking at their blockchain.
Right.
But this is just a software tool allowing people to actually explore the different blockchains.
So every what's the word, authentic or real cryptocurrency should be on here then, should be listed on this site then, is that right?
Well, there's 2 or 3 other third-party platforms that do a similar thing. This one just happens to be the best for they work better. But there are several other explorers, but this one is a very, very established, recognized, trusted blockchain explorer. That's why a lot of coins choose to use chains.
Okay, just explain. I can see FuelCoin just down there on the list there. What difference does it make in the way they're listed? Your WEX coins at the top. Is there any relevance to the way they're listed in order, or what? Or
well, it's listed by market capitalization. What that means is its current price times its total supply gives you its entire market capitalization. There's a number of coins on there that are fictitiously that expensive, meaning they haven't been distributed yet. They may be 70 cents a coin. They may have 1 billion coins, which would make them, a $700 million platform, but they've only got 10 coins distributed to anybody on the open market. Technically, it's still only worth $7, even though it shows their market cap is extraordinarily high. Now, the big difference between FuelCoin and all of those other ones on that list, all of the fuel coins that are going to exist already today and have already been bought by somebody at some price. It's fully distributed. So its price is its real price.
right, okay. And I'm just listing another site now called coinmarketcap.com, and I'm going to search FuelCoin in there so it shows it's for real. I'm just doing a search. So you just mentioned fully mined and 100 million coins. That's what's the aim of CoinMarketCap? It just lists all those figures, the market cap, the volume, and the available supply. Is that the aim of CoinMarketCap.com?
CoinMarketCap is literally just to show the actual market capitalization for each of the coins. It does allow you to look at the daily volume and trends and things like that. It's much more accurate than the Chains website, even though Chains is listed in CoinMarketCapitalization also. To be on the CoinMarketCap with your entire supply, you have to prove that it actually was supplied. And distribution of coins happens in a number of ways. The most common, and the way Bitcoin is done, is through the mining process. Miners go out and they solve very difficult algorithm or math problems, and when they get the right answer, they're rewarded with 12.5 Bitcoins. 12.5 Bitcoins get added to the total supply every time that happens at the very, very top of that list. Other coins, you'll see that you probably can't find some of those coins on on Chains on CoinMarketCap. That's because they have not distributed their coins yet. They have not been able to prove that they have been distributed in mass. So there's a fraction of the number of coins that they show as an available supply because they have not actually traded hands. So okay. CoinMarketCap is actually, in my opinion, a great way to tell whether or not it's a truly legitimate cryptocurrency, because the owner of CoinMarketCap is very diligent about making sure that the information on his website is accurate.
Okay, so every real cryptocurrency then with a real blockchain then should be listed on coinmarketcap.com then? Correct.
And it's probably going to have a more accurate representation of its distribution on CoinMarketCap than on Chains or other market capitalization websites.
Right, okay, that's great. Let's just talk about, obviously Bitcoin is, when it comes to cryptocurrency, the #1 cryptocurrency. You've got all these hundreds and hundreds, possibly thousands of other cryptocurrencies. What are they all trying to achieve then, sort of next to Bitcoin? Surely there's not enough space for all these thousands of coins to just appear from nowhere. What's the whole aim of this over the next couple of years? What are they all looking to achieve? All these alternative coins.
Well, there's Bitcoin. Bitcoin has so many things right, and it also has a couple of things kind of wrong. The one biggest glaring problem is that if we were to try to roll the world's money supply through Bitcoin, the network would not be able to handle it. It would make every transaction so slow that the coin would be unusable. And so in a way, an alternate cryptocurrency, an altcoin, is how Bitcoin is going to be able to handle the day-to-day transactions of people doing things. Now, around the world, there's 173 different countries with their own fiat monies. So in theory, we should have a minimum of 173 altcoins for those regions, and there's going to be niche coins. All of these are going to be answering different questions. They're going to be going possibly into different use applications. Ethereum is not designed to be a currency. It's designed to be a smart contract. And what that means is a smart contract would be like the VIN number on your vehicle. If it was put on the Ethereum blockchain to transfer your VIN title from one person to another, you don't have to go out and fill out a bunch of paperwork and wait in the mail for the title to arrive. They would literally be able to, on the Ethereum network, transfer it instantly for free. And so there's different purposes for some of these coins. Most of them are trying to become a type of currency, an actual to be used to buy cups of coffee type currency.
Right, so Ethereum seems to have its own uniqueness then, after what you just said then, compared to Bitcoin. But what about all the other coins? Have they got their own uniqueness, or are they all trying to be similar to Bitcoin in being able to sort of, well, like FuelCoin, for example, being able to transfer money from A to B, you know? So are they all looking to do the same things, including FuelCoin as well?
Well, FuelCoin has a lot of different directions it can go, specifically because of the name. We can say fuel your dreams, fuel the economy, fuel your gas tank. You know, it can be attached to gasoline and petroleum products. So it's got a pretty open spectrum of opportunities to evolve into when the timing is right as the industry grows. There's other ones like the game credits. It specifically is used for people to purchase and buy and sell things within a game platform. And there's several of those coins out there that are like that. There's anything you can imagine you would ever need to use money for. One of these cryptocurrencies is being designed to replace fiat money.
Right, okay.
And there's hundreds upon hundreds of different opportunities and options.
Okay then, so let's just waiting for some questions to come into the chat. There's a few coming in. Let's just talk about, obviously Bitcoin is a proof of work coin, and FuelCoin is a proof of stake coin. When did these terminologies arise? When did the word proof of work, was that around back in 2009 when was that around in 2009 when Bitcoin launched? And when did the proof of stake sort of terminology come into place? And what's the difference between the both of them?
Well, this is a great segue into talking about some of the flaws with Bitcoin. The proof of work basically means to substantiate value. They are asking somebody to solve a hardware or a math problem, and it requires a lot of computer resources and takes an awful lot of power. So essentially, to create a Bitcoin with a hardware device, let's just say one Bitcoin, it's going to cost you about $700 in actual hardware and electricity to create this Bitcoin. Okay, so it inherently has value because somebody spent some external money to create it. So that's why as the math problem for Bitcoin gets harder, they have to add more hardware to their platforms to keep up so they can continue to answer these math questions and get their coins. That's proof of work. Did you work for this coin? Did you spend money on this coin? Then you get some of this coin, and its value to me, if I spent $700 on it, I need to make a little bit of profit. I'm not going to sell it for less than $712. That establishes the price at $712 because that's the first one available. That's what the proof of work concept is supposed to do. The flaw with that is, let's just pretend for a moment, just 1% of the world's money that runs through the Visa system overnight is tried to be used on the Bitcoin network. Because it takes physical hardware and physical miners to confirm transactions, it would make the confirmation process, which is the other thing that they do. A confirmation means I'm one of the computers that agreed that you bought a cup of coffee. I'm going to register it on the blockchain. That's the other thing these miners do. Not only do they solve the math problems to get the Bitcoins, but they confirm transactions. If you took the entire world's Visa transaction, just 1%, and put it on the Bitcoin network, it would take them hours upon hours upon hours to confirm anything because you have to ramp up with hardware. The net effect of this, what's happening is, instead of a whole bunch of people decentralized all over the world in their homes mining Bitcoin, the only people who are continuing to do it are the ones that have kept up. and they are literally spending tens of millions of dollars to create massive server farms. So the decentralized nature of Bitcoin is becoming untrue the bigger it gets, because the only people doing it are these massive mining operations. Nobody in their home can actually do it anymore. Most people's garages aren't big enough to handle the hardware, the servers, and the cooling necessary to even be remotely successful mining Bitcoin. So as it gets bigger, these mining farms will get bigger, and there will become fewer and fewer of them. It's becoming centralized. That's a flaw. So not only can it not handle overnight growth, it will become centralized by default, just by the nature of the beast. In 2014, proof of stake was a theory to answer that problem. Well, what does that mean? What it means is anybody with a wallet who has some coins will participate in the confirming of transactions. And that means that, let's just take specifically FuelCoin. If 1% overnight of the Visa network was turned into the FuelCoin network, it would grow substantially and overnight, because every person who decided to participate would all of a sudden become part of the network. It makes the network grow with adoption. So it could handle it. It can handle exponential growth, rapid exponential growth, because everybody who participates becomes part of the network. And the more people who are, the more decentralized it becomes. And that was one of the major reasons the proof of stake concept was developed, was to be able to grow into the boots of Visa and MasterCard.
Right, okay. That's a great answer. Can you just talk about, you mentioned the words there, decentralized. Can you just explain, obviously, for the new people again, what's the difference between, I'm assuming Bitcoin is decentralized. What is FuelCoin? Is FuelCoin decentralized as well, or centralized? And what's the difference between both of them? And the majority of all these thousands of coins out there, what's the percentages of centralized and decentralized, and the advantages of one or the other?
Well, virtually all cryptocurrencies, one of the things that is true about them is they are decentralized, and that means that they are not controlled by any specific bank, organization, or government. And so that's it. That's the difference between centralized would be working with the U.S. Federal Reserve. That's a centralized system. They make their own monetary policy. They force it down our throats, and it usually wanders across the world in the similar effects in other countries' bank regulations. That's centralized currency. Decentralized is anybody at any time can participate and exit without authority. They don't need to ask anybody's permission to get a wallet, to download coins, to go to the market and buy some, keep them, and sell them at any quantity. That's decentralized. Now, Bitcoin is becoming more centralized because all of these mining farms I mentioned earlier, they're not working with each other necessarily. But as they grow, they are starting to work with each other. Some server farm miners are moving their servers in to work with another one, because the more power they purchase together, the cheaper their power is. So it's becoming more centralized. Eventually, there could be 5 or 6 or 7 main server farms and operators that literally become a centralized. They could, because they control the network, they could ask for fees. They could ask for, they could make some sort of a governance. And so that's the problem with becoming centralized again. It removes the ability for people to enter and exit at their own will and desire. A proof of stake coin, however, will always be decentralized, because the more people who join, they become part of the network, and it's less and less centralized the more people who come on, because there is no consolidation happening in the coin.
So FuelCoin and Bitcoin will never become sort of centralized then? They'll always be decentralized?
Well, I'm proposing that Bitcoin could become centralized. And every year that goes by, the more centralized it becomes, just by the nature of the fact that all of the mom and pops that had miners in their homes are turning them off because they aren't winning any coins anymore. And the only winners are these large corporations. And as these corporations grow, they all of a sudden have control. They're centralized and they have control. They could take over Bitcoin.
So what impact will that have on me and you and the rest of the people who own Bitcoins then?
Well,
I mean,
we're still talking about, way down the road. Mining operation is going to continue with Bitcoin until the year 2140. We're talking a long ways down the road. I believe that anybody who participates in Bitcoin today will probably have a chance to enter and exit for a significant profit before that ever becomes a problem. I'm not saying that that is the doomsday thing. If they screw it up, there's going to be several hundred other cryptocurrencies like FuelCoin and other cryptocurrencies to take their place if they screw it up. But
so that's a good point. What's the worst scenario there? What's the worst scenario with Bitcoin? Could it ever be shut down by the government? I keep getting that question. And if it does disappear, what happens then to all the other alternative coins? Can FuelCoin keep going on its own without Bitcoin?
Yes, it does not have to have Bitcoin. The only reason that Bitcoin is being used as the backbone platform to all of these other cryptocurrencies is because it was the first coin out there to create relationships with companies that have the ability to move from fiat money to Bitcoin. These platforms, by the way, are being developed for all of these other cryptocurrencies, so there is a possibility in the not so distant future that you will not need to purchase a Bitcoin to purchase these other cryptocurrencies, because there are platforms, the same people who brought the ability to use fiat money to buy Bitcoin, they're actually opening up their platforms to other significant cryptocurrencies. And the first one on specifically Coinbase is Ethereum. You don't have to purchase Bitcoins to purchase Ethereums. You can just use your fiat dollars to buy Ethereums now. So that's the first of many to come. So if Bitcoin loses its power or edge in the industry, all of the companies that developed their processes are going to continue with somebody. But again, we're talking many, many, many years down the road. Now, can Bitcoin be shut down? The answer is a resounding no, it cannot.
Right, okay, so Bitcoin can never be shut down by any governing body. It is safe, fairly safe then, for the long term.
Absolutely. There's, Bitcoin's available in Russia, China, Japan, America, London. It's available everywhere around the world, and even those specific countries can't shut down each other's money. They aren't going to shut down Bitcoin. They can't do it.
Right, okay. Well, let's move on to some more questions here. Let's talk about let's go through my questions here. Let's talk about FuelCoin itself now as an alternative coin. There's hundreds of thousands of coins out there. When did FuelCoin? How did you get involved with FuelCoin? How long ago was that? And I'm sharing my screen now with regards to the ups and downs over FuelCoin over the last. Obviously, the graph is showing it's come down in value a lot, and then obviously since we started working together a few weeks ago, it started to go off on one again and started to go up 20 odd times since the last couple of weeks. Since we got involved. So just explain how did you get involved with FuelCoin in the first place, and what's created this bit of a downward turn, and now obviously the upward turn now is back. Just explain the history there if you can.
Well, first and foremost, one needs to understand that huge spike in the top of the market on the first part of the trend was based around about a $220 to $300 Bitcoin. It shows skewed because that was the market cap at the time. The actual US dollar price of FuelCoin has generally been around a half a cent to 1 cent. And now we're at 2 cents, which would literally, if it was applied correctly, that huge spike you see on the far left, would be actually almost as big as that right now today, just based on the US dollar price. It's just a way it's being represented on that particular graph. However, let's talk about the history of FuelCoin. I love it. When FuelCoin originally came out, it was a proof of work coin, just like Bitcoin. And I was working with the developers of it as, again, marketing and PR. And we were getting the word out, and that's when all of these things I talked about, the Bitcoin has one big problem every day, and this is a great time to talk about what happened just last night. Miners create new Bitcoins. They're making 12.5 every 10 minutes. Okay, the net effect of that at $700 is roughly $33 million a month worth of brand new Bitcoins is being created. These people spend money to make those things. Well, They're not stupid people. They wait until the price gets up high enough, and then they sell in bulk. And that's why you'll see sometimes a drop of between $10 and $25 per coin, because they wait until they can get the most amount for them, and then they will dump in mass to pay for all of the stuff that they have to mine Bitcoin. That's exactly what happened last night. It generally bounces down to hit a little low, and then it starts creeping back up. And it's like a rebounding yo-yo. It ultimately does outperform where it was before. So that is a problem, is that there are brand new coins being introduced to the market for Bitcoin, and it's always going to be doing this go up, drop down pretty sharp, go up, drop down pretty sharp. That is because it's not fully distributed. It has a small inflation in it. It's a set inflation, but it's still an inflationary cryptocurrency. FuelCoin, however, when it was launched, we saw the same problem with the miners dumping their coins heartlessly, not participating with the coin at all. They were just making money to pay for their miners. That is when the proof of stake concept came out, and we decided, because of all of the theories that I have shared just a little bit ago, were true. They were true. And so we came out with a proof of stake coin, and it was radical in the fact that it was 100% pre-mined. And we were going to distribute it to people around the world over the course, and I figured it'd take about 3 years. So that's kind of how it started. Now, the very beginning, if it isn't distributed, the prices will go up sharply because there's no coins on the market. Well, during that period where it went up and started to come back down, some of those coins that were being sold out of the pre-mine were re-entering the market, and it caused quite a bit of downward pressure on the price of the coin. Now, you'll see you have that really strange U right there, just past the spike and come back down. There's a really cool U. Yeah. That was specifically because there was a hacker who was going out and finding people who had purchased fuel coins, and because they did not use the tools available to them then and today, they got their coins stolen. And he would sell them en masse. And we're talking millions upon millions of them were dumped on the market all at once. And it took time for it to recover. Well, through that period of time, the company that was originally behind FuelCoin is called Encrypted Labs. They started working with something else, and they stopped marketing. I was working with different things within the industry because I want to grow myself in the industry also, and that's why we saw that general downtrend. But during that period, something really unique happened. All of the coins that were from the pre-mine were distributed. They were sold to somebody at some price. When Adrian and I got back together, I took it upon myself to put FuelCoin in with a company called BlockChain Scientific. They're very well established, some of the top coders and developers for cryptocurrencies. That got switched over during that long flat period over the last couple of months. And then we started marketing again. The big difference is there are no more pre-mine coins. Everyone has been sold to somebody at some price. There aren't brand new coins coming to the market like it was at the very beginning. So it's going to be much easier to maintain price levels, and it's going to be much easier to continue to grow the price of the coin because there aren't hundreds upon hundreds of brand new coins every day being introduced to the market.
Right, okay. So looking at the history now, there's had a lot of ups and downs, but now on the positive side, the future's looking quite, I think it's looking quite bright now, because we've teamed up together, and obviously I've started to put the word out. It's had a bit of a knock-on effect. People are starting to get confidence, and people are starting to buy FuelCoin now. The volume is going up, and where can you see what are you looking for to take FuelCoin to the next stage now? Over the next sort of couple of months, to take this from, we've hit 2 cents, which is brilliant. It's just dropped back less than 2 cents today. But what's the next level to take up to 3 cents, 4 cents? How far, or what do we need to take it to the next level so everyone knows?
Well, the marketing is going to continue. It's hard to forecast targets. I think that I said that we would hopefully get to 2 cents maybe by Christmas. We've already passed that. I would imagine we'll probably be at 3 cents, especially if Bitcoin recovers. Again, FuelCoin is related directly to Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin drops in price and our price against Bitcoin doesn't change, our overall US dollar price will drop with Bitcoin. But the opposite is true. If our price doesn't change against Bitcoin when Bitcoin prices go up, our US dollar price too will go up. So the target is to maintain a, right now it's between 25 and 2,700 Satoshis. And we haven't moved off of that, even though the market looks like we went down. We actually didn't, because we're still 25 to 2,700 Satoshis. And that, again, calculates based on what Bitcoin's doing to be the US dollar price. But our target is to maintain that. And then as we launch more direct distributors, it's going to go up quick. It's going to go up quicker than most other coins, because there are no other coins. The only way to get coins is buy them from somebody else who bought them before. So that's where they come from. We're just going to continue.
Yeah. And the reason I decided to take this, obviously I'm involved in a number of different income streams with regards to network marketing. I'm involved in 2 other coins as well, which has got an ML backend site, an ML backend to it. But what's the main difference? The reason I took this on is because it's non-MLM. It's not an affiliate program as such. But yeah, I am looking for leaders in different countries where you will be rewarded, but it's not officially an affiliate program or an MLM. So what is the advantage of it being a non-MLM to an MLM program that's paying out, 20%, 30%, matching bonus this, matching bonus that? What's the difference?
Well, when the MLMs love cryptocurrency, because for the first time in their history, they're able to have a product that has no cost to sell. And that's the truth. They don't have any necessary cost in creating their cryptocurrency. Maybe, $10 or $15 or $20,000 for coin development, but it's not like you're selling makeup or you're selling some specialty food supplement that only has a 50% margin. They have pretty much 100% margin on these coins, but they're not doing the right things with the money. They're paying it through commissions. They don't have pure margin, because you're selling money. If I'm selling you a dollar bill, I'm going to need to get $1.05 if I'm going to make any money. But would you buy that at $1.05 if you can get it from everywhere else for $1? There is no margin in money. That's what cryptocurrency is. It's money. So they're concentrating more on running money through to pay commissions than they are to support their coin price. That's different with Fuel. FuelCoin, every dollar that's brought through a direct distributor, every amount of Bitcoin that's brought through a direct distributor gets applied directly to the market. So the market itself receives all of the money that comes in, and that has a tendency to push the prices higher, because we want to make sure that we continue to grow as people come on. This also gives people an opportunity to exit in the future, which is fine. We rely on that. Let's say you buy 10,000 coins today, it doubles in price, and you decide to sell it on the market. All of a sudden, we get back 10,000 coins. Now we have 4 people in front of us who each want 2,500 for the same price that you just sold them for. So it redistributes those coins. And the way that it works is we're able to provide some compensation. You can talk to Adrian about that. But because there are people who are what we call dumping on the market over a 24-hour period, sometimes we get coins pretty cheap. Well, the beneficiaries of that activity end up being the people who are direct partners, because we're able to pay small commissions. We're making money on the market. We share it with the people who have direct distributor and direct partnership arrangements with Adrian. Right. So that's where the margins come from. And the money is used on the coin. It's not used on affiliate marketing. It's not used on commissions. It's not used, to pay your downlines and things like that. It's not used to send people all over the world for immersion projects and team building exercises. It's being used on the coin itself.
So it's exactly like Bitcoin was then in 2009. And Bitcoin started off at a zero value, and then it started creeping up. And FuelCoin is like, the price of FuelCoin is like sort of Bitcoin. And back in 2009, is then everyone, the more people that buy, the bigger the demand and supply of Bitcoin push the price up. And that's the same with FuelCoin. And so the more people are going to become interested in FuelCoin, the price is going to go up. Is that right?
That's absolutely. That's absolutely right. But the big difference is there were still Bitcoins being generated and put onto the market that had never been there the day before. All of the Fuel coins that exist today. So there aren't new coins being generated. So the odds of this going up much sharper and much faster than Bitcoin is much better. And being able to sustain and support those prices is going to be much easier, because they're all here today. What you see is what you get. The more people who want them, and I always use this analogy, there's only so much beachfront property in the world. There's a finite supply. The more people who want to live on the beach, they're going to have to pay more money than the guy before. And that's exactly the same. This is deflationary. That's what the difference is between inflationary currency and deflationary. This is a finite supply. The more people who want some, the value is going to go up because there's only so much to go around for everyone.
Right, okay. Got a few questions coming in here. Should have done these a while ago. I'm just going back a bit. Matthew's asking, do you reckon FuelCoin will be up to $1 next year or in the future?
That's, you know, that's blue sky stuff, but I will say it this way. If we were able to go from far less than a penny 5 weeks ago, and we're now 2 cents, and people are coming in and the price is growing and we're going to go to 5 cents, well then why wouldn't we be able to make it to 10 cents? And if it continues, which it will, and it is, why wouldn't it make it to 50 cents? And if it does, well, why wouldn't it make it to $1? Why, if it makes it to $1, why wouldn't it make it to 10? The answer is it will. Do we know the sample period of time for that? I'm a very conservative person. I think that it might be a couple years before it hits $1. But I also thought it would be 3 years before the entire pre-mine was distributed as well.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. I'll be more than happy if he goes to even 5 or 10 cents. That's a great starting place, isn't it? And it's start to get a lot more exposure then, wasn't it? If we can get up to just 5 cents, isn't it, or even 10 cents.
Well, you know, I don't know about you, Adrian, but I also purchased my own FuelCoins, even though I was the PR person for that. All of the pre-mine was not any benefit to me. I purchased my own FuelCoins, and I got them. I did get them a lot less expensive, under a penny. I've already, 14 times my investment, my purchase. We can't use the word investment. My purchase is at least 14 times higher than my purchase 5 weeks ago.
Exactly, and I had a load of coins as well, didn't I? A lot less than the penny as well. So, and the people who buy the coins now, anything less than 2 cents, I'd say is really cheap. And Matthew's asking as well, why is FuelCoin so cheap? Why is FuelCoin so cheap? Is that a sensible question?
Well, it is a very sensible question. The answer is because when the announcement for FuelCoin came out, the industry in the world was not ready for Bitcoin. They weren't even using Bitcoin yet. The people we were talking to had $20, not $10,000. The world's changed. The world now understands. And by the way, it was really difficult in 2015 to sell people about the concept of Bitcoin because it was sliding from 600 to 500 to 300 down to $200 through 2015. It was like trying to convince people to give away their kids to the slaughterhouse. It was ridiculous. It was a waste of time. Everything has changed. It's literally 5 weeks ago, the marketing restarted for FuelCoin, and the world is ready for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. That's the difference. So this is why I said this is an opportunity, and a lucky opportunity for anybody listening now to participate in this whole industry, because it is literally changing as we speak. 2016 was truly a breakout year for Bitcoin specifically, and 2017, in my opinion, is going to be a breakout year for all cryptocurrencies.
Right, okay. I got a few more questions. That's great. I got Matthew's asking again, will they ever make any more FuelCoins in the future?
No, it is physically impossible. The blockchain absolutely sets how many coins there are. Now, there's 0.0113% generated annually through the proof of stake reward system. And there's 2 reasons for that. Number one, if you own FuelCoins and you leave your wallet on and you're participating in confirming transaction, the network also generates some brand new coins, 0.011% new coins, and you get those as a reward to say thank you for using your resources. You also get a percent of all the small fees that are sent around. So if you hold on to FuelCoins and they do become $1, there are some wallets that are generating 25 to 30 FuelCoins a week. That's $35, $25, $35 a week just for leaving your laptop on. So the reason why there are always still new coins being generated is because the people literally lose them. And in my little calculator in my head, I can account for 1.67 million coins confirmed that no longer exist. People send them to bad addresses. They lose their wallets. If you don't generate some new coins, the actual total number of coins will decrease to a point where there aren't enough to go around. So it has a steady set supply of new coins that is shared with anybody who owns coins who leaves their wallets on. That's called the proof of stake, and it's a reward.
Okay, yeah, and we're going to do a video on that, Gary. We should have. I want to do a video with you showing you how to set up a an external wallet, and just talk about that quickly. Where do we actually store Bitcoins? Where do we actually store our fuel coins? We've got the choice of Bittrex, which is like an external or an internal wallet on the internet, and we got this external wallet now where you said is on your desktop. Which is the best place for people to store their fuel coins and the safest from a hacking point of view as well?
Well, I personally think the only way for people to truly be safe and secure with their coins is if they have their own personal wallets that are locked up, backed up, and secured, and we can help people get their local wallets. However, some of these coins that were lost that I have in my head that I told you were lost are because people didn't do it correctly and they lost their own coins. If you have them on Bittrex, you have to remember that you send your coins to Bittrex. Bittrex is the place that's receiving the staking rewards, okay? And they don't share that necessarily. So you're also beholden to that exchange to make sure that they stay open. Now, I personally know these guys, and they are very honest people, and they intend to be here for the long haul, and they've never been hacked. I think it's one of the safest exchanges on the planet, personally.
Yeah.
But they're still vulnerable, not for the blockchain being hacked, but their passwords to get into their database that allow them to use your username and your password to transfer the coins out of their wallets into their own. That's the problem. You're trusting an exchange to keep your stuff safe. I have all of my crypto coins on my own personal wallets. Now, Blockchain Scientific is about to announce the ability to host your coins on servers there, where you can actually, so you don't have to worry about wallets and things. They have all of the ability to secure your coins, and they'll be staking for you. So that's going to be announced a little bit later, but that'll be a third option, but it's not ready yet.
Okay then, so that's great, guys. Yeah, I will be doing a video hopefully one day this week with Gary showing people how to download a wallet, whether it be on an Apple Mac or on a Windows, and then I will show you how you can then basically stake and potentially mine free coins. Is that the right word, Gary? Stake and mine free coins?
Well, staking is the only term we actually use. The staking process generates new coins. When it arrives in your wallet, it shows that they were quote unquote mined, but generally it's not mined. They're just staked.
Right. Okay, that clears a lot of things up. Matthew was asking, will there ever be a FuelCoin 3, an FC3?
No.
So I'm assuming Matthew was thinking like another advance on the technology, which I'm assuming is
well.
Not, was it?
This particular this particular algorithm has already been modified very, very substantially, and okay, we would never need to actually change it to a Fuel 3 to go from Fuel 1 to Fuel 2 because they were completely different algorithms. It was proof of work versus proof of stake. We had to actually have people send in their proof of work coins, and they got redistributed the new proof of stake coins. Now, the proof of stake algorithm is very flexible. We can do what's known as a soft fork for other software implementations, and generally all a person needs to do is just upgrade their wallet from the website, and it'll automatically accept those changes. But that's going to be very rare that we need to do that.
Okay, that's great. Just got these questions out of the way. I got a load of questions. Matthew's saying, I should have asked this a few minutes ago. He's saying, does that mean that fuel coins will be a rare coin? This means that the price will go up. So I'm not sure what he's referring to then. But can you make any sense of that? Because I've probably lost the timing of that question. He said he's asking, will fuel coin become a rare coin?
Well, yes, it will become. I mean, there's 100 million coins. There's actually 101 million coins. So that means that there's literally only 101 people around the world that could ever have 1 million. Well, there's already more people than that have some, so I don't even know how many people would be able to be a FuelCoin millionaire anymore. But the odds are incredibly stacked against anybody today ever achieving 1 million of their own coins. So it is becoming rarer and rarer. I think that people with 500,000 coins will be few and far between soon, and people with just 50,000 coins in probably the next 6 to 8 months will be very significant sized wallets, and it'll be a very, very healthy achievement for anybody to ever even get 50,000.
So to get 500,000 coins right now at 2 cents, that's around $10,000. Does that sound right?
Well, no, that isn't actually right. It's going to be probably 3 times that, because there's not that many coins available on the open market. And every time somebody purchases from the open market, the price goes up.
Sorry, you're right. So there's not enough volume, not enough on the Bittrex, on the sell side. Even there's not enough traders. There's not enough selling trades there, is there, to make that work? Is there, to get it that cheap?
Yeah. Let's pretend, just for theoretical reasons, let's say that it would take in theory, it would take 10 Bitcoins to get 500,000 coins. Well, if you went to the market right now this second, the price is 2 cents. Well, you would probably find that you're going to be spending close to 6 cents per coin to achieve that. So it's not just 10 Bitcoins anymore. It's close to 40 Bitcoins.
Yeah, I see. I mean, yeah. So you can see my screen, guy. Can you hear the bids on the left and the asks on the right?
Yep. Kind of.
I've had a lot of debates. Well, just with 2 particular guys. I'm not going to mention their name. They just obviously these 2 guys are more proactive than the average person when it comes to buying cryptocurrency and trading and doing all this type of thing. And they can't understand. And I said to come on to the training tonight, so you can explain it. Why what's the advantage of putting a trade through myself, because you and me passing the Bitcoin to you and you making strategic trades without giving all these secrets away, obviously. What's the difference between that and them doing it themselves? Because they're giving me the impression that if they do it themselves, they can get it cheaper on the exchange. So I'm talking of somebody with just say an average person with just 1 Bitcoin, which is $720 worth. What's it more beneficial for them to do? Come to the exchange and place and ask trades on the right hand side here, or perhaps even put a bid on the left and try and get it cheaper that way than putting the order through me myself? Is it any advantage or disadvantage?
There may be a time here and there randomly that a person will be able to purchase them off of the exchange for less. Let's use a bit bigger number. Let's say 5 Bitcoins. They would have to, it's not even showing on that page, you would probably fund a 5 Bitcoin order at about 2,700 Satoshis. Okay.
3-4 Bitcoins is 3,000 Satoshis, exactly.
Right. These people, because the Bitcoin comes into a central purchasing manager, they are fighting against 25, 30, 40 Bitcoins. So there may be a time where the manager is sleeping, that they might be able to get 1 or 2 Bitcoins under 2,700 Satoshis, but it's going to be very rare and few and far between, because there is a much bigger wallet fighting for those coins under that distribution price, or under that under what Adrian would be settling them for. And when you have a larger order, instead of spending up to 3,000 Satoshis, you'll be able to get it funded at 1 price, which is probably going to be at or slightly below the actual market price at the time. Those Bitcoins are sent to the fund manager who you're fighting against, with a lot more Bitcoins than you do.
Right. And what about on the left-hand side here with you've got that, you'd use that example there, 5 Bitcoins and get 3,000 Satoshi price there. On the left, if somebody wants to put a bid in on the left for 5 Bitcoins, if they wanted to place bids at a reduced price, 5 Bitcoins worth, could they strategically get more fuel coins for the money that way by placing 5 Bitcoins spread out on the left-hand side here on the bid side?
It's very, very, very unlikely, because though anything that typically falls under, I don't want to give away too many secrets, but just say anything that falls under 2,600 Satoshis will be snapped up by the fund manager, and if they've got their top bid at 2,500, it'll never get touched.
Yeah, because I'm on page 1 here on the left-hand side on bids. On the sum column is obviously very low there. It goes up to 0.56 Bitcoin on the bottom of page 1. If I go to page 2, it goes up to 1.19. Page 3, 2.24. So if they wanted to buy 5 Bitcoins, the price is obviously dropping. The price is actually dropping to like 1,800 Satoshis, 2,000 Satoshis. They're not going to.
No. That's for the sellers. That's for the sellers. That's for people who have FuelCoin who want to dump them en masse on the market. They would be better served to just put them on the sell side not dump into the buy support. That's the buy support. Those are people out bidding, wishing they could get coins for that amount of money.
Yeah.
They're better to put it on the sell side, and as the market price goes up, they're just going to be knocked off at those market rates.
No, what I mean, I may be wrong, but say somebody's got 5 Bitcoins to spend right now in that same example, and they wanted to put bids on the left-hand side here, they would put a 5 Bitcoin ordered on the left-hand side, wouldn't they?
Well, they could, but
on the bids.
They could, but if it's anything under, say, 2,500 Satoshis, it's just going to sit there unfilled forever.
That's what I mean, yes. Yeah, so there's no advantage. These particular people, if they want to get it cheap, these two guys I'm talking about, they wanted to get it cheaper. They wanted to do it themselves. So they 5 Bitcoin would be sitting there forever and ever, wouldn't they? It wouldn't actually trade, would it? The trade wouldn't kick in, would it?
There is always the remote possibility that a hacker might steal somebody's wallet, and that might be a larger wallet, and they'll dump onto the market. They might get them filled. It happens, but it's very unlikely.
Right. Okay. So that's great. So just wanted to clear that up. But obviously, some people haven't even got Bitcoin, and obviously that's where I come in, because I'm actually using my Bitcoin to help people get FuelCoin, if you know what I mean. So if people want to, if anyone wants to buy FuelCoins, and you don't know how to buy Bitcoins right now, or you haven't got any Bitcoins right now, or it's going to take you a couple of days to get Bitcoins, and you can send me the dollars, pounds, or euros to my Solid Trust Pay, my Pays account, my PayPal account. You can wire me the money. I even accept MoneyGram, Western Union. You can send me the dollars, and I can get I can transact the Bitcoin for you and get the FuelCoin account. So that's a quicker way of doing it as well, guys. And he's used myself for that as well, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. And this is also another really, people need to understand how significant an advantage that is to you specifically, not Adrian, to the people I'm talking to. Most instant Bitcoin purchases will cost between 7 and 20%. It's Bitstamp price plus 7% or up to 20% for instant purchases like Adrian is offering. It's a major advantage to you to be able to do that, so you don't have to wait for your accounts to get set up at Coinbase and then approve you, and then to have it could take 5 to 9 days out of Coinbase for people to purchase Bitcoins for the first time. So these instant conversions are a major advantage for people.
Right. Okay, that's great. Let's clear that up. Matthew's got another question. Say in 10 years' time, FuelCoin will be a collector's item. Will this be correct, or will they discontinue FuelCoin?
No, FuelCoin is not. It's not going to be a collector item, so to speak. It's going to be just like Bitcoin. People are going to have it. They're going to use it. It'll be used day to day. The more market penetration it gets, the less technically rare on that perspective it becomes. The value may continue to increase because more people want some, but it's going to be used. It's going to be readily available. So it's not going to be a quote unquote collector's item like that, like a strange shiny ring or something. It's not going to be a piece of art. It's going to be used, and the more people who want it and use it, the higher the value for each single will be.
Okay.
Now let me talk about something else really quick. There are people with a lot of coins. I'm a person who has a lot of coins. Adrian has a lot of coins. Well, it's just like owning a piece of real estate. We buy real estate because we know that the use of the real estate is not going to change. Therefore, its value, as inflation happens, is going to increase. We're hedging against inflation by owning real estate. This is a little different because it has two factors. Number one, it does hedge against inflation, but it's also deflationary. Just by the fact that more people want it, it's going to increase in value. But unlike a home or a piece of property, if we need to purchase something, let me just say I need to purchase a new transmission for a car and I need $2,500. I'm not going to sell my $100,000 house like I would have to if I had real estate just to buy a transmission. You can sell the cryptocurrencies for just enough to get by. And we're not stupid enough to sell the entire supply because it's continuing to increase in value every week, every month, every year. So you can sell your piece of property 1 inch at a time instead of the whole thing if you ever need some money. And most people that have a larger or more significant stake in FuelCoin, they understand that. They're not going to, okay, let's just say it gets to $1. Well, yay, somebody might have $1 million. They'd be idiots to sell all of them because number one, it's going to push the price down to 75 cents. And then they only have $750,000 and they're out. And then it's going to go back to $1 and they're out. Well, what if they didn't do that and it went to $2 instead of having $1 million now, they lost $1 million more later. That happens to me with Bitcoin. I have a lot of Bitcoins. I think about buying things like shoes because I know that this $50 pair of sneakers that I'm buying today might, in 2 years, have been a $300 pair of sneakers. Do I really need them? That's the difference. It changes the way you look at your money. And I've been living on Bitcoin for a number of years now, and I literally am standing in a pair of $450 sneakers because I used Bitcoin when it was $220 to buy them.
Right, I see what you mean. Yeah. That's really useful. Okay, that's incredible. That's incredible, that story, Gary. Fair play. That makes me think a lot about what I'm doing in property. You know, I've got a property portfolio, and it's just one big headache. Property. I've been in property 20 years, and I've started to sell my properties now, and then and put that money into other things. Obviously, a lot of it's going into FuelCoin, you know, and a few other cryptocurrencies, but the majority is going into FuelCoin. But like you said, if I want to sell one of my properties, I got to sell the full £100,000 or $200,000 house in one go, and it's gone. But with, as you're saying, with FuelCoin, if you've got $200,000 worth, $100,000 worth, you can just sell a small amount, bit by bit, and live off that amount, can you? Live off those small sales.
Absolutely. In fact, here's another really, really interesting story. My daughter wanted to have a coffee shop. Okay, I spent $15,000 in Bitcoin to purchase a mobile coffee business that we were never able to actually find a location for, but that's neither here nor there. That number of Bitcoins that I used to purchase that $15,000 coffee cart is now not $15,000 now, it's close to $38,000. If I didn't buy that coffee cart with that Bitcoin, I would have $38,000 today, not the $15,000 cart anymore, $38,000. It changes the way you look at your money. Now, I thought that'd be a good investment because I figured we'd probably be able to generate enough revenue with it that it would offset the cost of the Bitcoin increase. I knew the Bitcoin was going to go up at that time also, but I figured the business would generate enough money that it would offset that. Well, we were never able to place it, so I basically spent $38,000 on a coffee cart that doesn't have a home. And next year, it's probably going to be $68,000. It'll really piss me off.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay then. I just got two older questions here which I missed. Who owns and manages the blockchain, and also what guarantees a FuelCoin will never be centralized?
Well, again, the fact that anybody can participate on the network without asking anybody else's permission guarantees that it will never be centralized. However, there is a need for continued software development, node security, node maintenance. Nodes basically are the originating network IP addresses that interconnect everybody else. That is being taken care of by BlockChain Scientific. It doesn't have to be. It can be moved to a different cryptocurrency blockchain type company, but that always has to be there. And that's the reason why Bitcoin has what they call the Bitcoin Foundation. There always has to be some sort of back end management. Otherwise, the coin will fork and it could die. But as far as being centralized, it won't be centralized because you never have to ask anybody's permission to use it. And the people who are running the software don't have enough control over the coin to do anything with it. They just keep it alive.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. I'm going through my questions here. Any more questions, guys? I'm going to ask a few of my own questions now. So unless you've got any questions, put them in the chat. As you know, Gary, a few days ago, we done. I'm not going to name the company. Obviously, we went onto a call with another coin-related company. The guy was holding what you call one of those. I think they call it like a PDQ machine. You know, that he used to transact credit cards in the shop. Take an impression that this coin would be using this or integrating this coin into this sort of PDQ machine. Can you just explain the future things where? And because a lot of people are asking me, what can you use FuelCoin for? There's no merchants on board yet. You know, I know it's be too early for that. Obviously, right now, I would have thought, if you want to explain the merchant side of things. But in the long term, how can we use FuelCoin to buy things? I can buy a cup of coffee in Starbucks using Bitcoin. That's already working. So when can I start buying a cup of coffee in Starbucks using FuelCoin PDQ machine? Because apparently you said you can pick up one of those anyway and start using it anyway. Can you explain all that? It's a bit technical, but...
Well, let's not get too specific about the quote-unquote PDQ machine. Let's just talk about the industry as a whole. The companies that are bringing the ability for you to use Bitcoins at places like Overstock.com and Amazon.com and at your local coffee shop and things like that, these companies are motivated to get traffic through their platforms. They are being developed without any necessity for us to pay them to do it. They have a selfish motivation to bring cryptocurrencies to the masses. So the tens of millions of dollars that have already been spent and are going to continue to be spent for mainstream merchant adoption, it's happening because of Bitcoin. Any place that accepts a Bitcoin can accept any other cryptocurrency. Basically, it's just a set of what we call APIs to connect. Any blockchain technology cryptocurrency can use any platform that accepts Bitcoin. So it's just a matter of time when we are able to approach these platforms that are being developed. And by the way, unbeknownst to them, Apple Pay and Google Pay both literally opened up the opportunity for all of those platforms to use Bitcoin. And as I am saying, when it becomes the right time for FuelCoin, because the price is right, there's enough people around the world, it'll make sense to those platforms to accept it on their platforms and put it on their ATM machines and allow for multi-crypto trading with those merchants. It's happening because of Bitcoin. And these companies that are trying to reinvent a wheel that Bitcoin is already inventing and has a 9-year advantage on, they're silly. All of these little gadgets that you see that these people might be waving in your face, they're readily available for anybody with a cryptocurrency to accumulate. Manufacturers are building these things to allow for Bitcoin adoption specifically, but there's going to be a time where it just switches and it'll be multi-crypto platforms.
So is Bitcoin actually working? Is Bitcoin already integrated within Apple Pay and Google Pay right now, or is it just...
No.
So it's too early yet?
No, it's actually not. However, the fact that they can do it with Apple Pay and Google Pay means that the API access capabilities are already built into all of those machines.
So before long, then, when I've got my Apple Pay now, I got about 5 different credit cards stored in my Apple Pay on my iPhone. When I see an Apple Pay logo, I can go in and buy a computer. So you're saying before long, I'll be able to go in and buy a computer using Bitcoin linked through the Apple Pay then?
I would say it's less likely through the Apple Pay than it would be the Google Pay, just because Apple is really trying hard to, as they've always done, keep everybody using only Apple when you're talking apples. But Google Pay, those platforms will already have the ability with very, very, very little developer modification to accept Bitcoin on those platforms. They're already developed for cryptocurrency.
So obviously Bitcoin will be the first coin to be integrated within, say, Google Pay then, and then
correct.
And then the likes of all these other alternative coins, will there be like a top 10 or a top 20 other smaller coins which will be integrated as well, and hopefully FuelCoin once it hits that level?
Well, there's already yes and yes and yes all the way across the board on those answers. Now, as far as timing, I don't really know the time. However, I do know the people, and that's another very significant thing about FuelCoin and other projects and platforms that I'm involved in. There are some very specific and key players around the world that are bringing Bitcoin to the world. I know these people, and that when it is time, and some of the projects that I'm aware of that are being developed for Bitcoin are pretty significant. After 5 or 6 months of these things being out for Bitcoin, where people can literally use it anywhere, and by the way, the more popular Bitcoin gets, the faster this is coming to the mainstream. This is disrupting the use of money. It's the most incredible opportunity of a lifetime because it is disrupting the use of money. Bitcoin is accelerating very, very quickly. That's why the prices are going up. Even though there's all of these new coins being introduced to the market, it's continuing to go up because the adoption is starting to pick up a viral steam. Once it's out there, then it literally, if you know the right people, is not difficult to get it onto these platforms if the value of the coin is there. It makes sense to them. They want to have money. They want to capitalize on their investments into those technologies.
And how will Google Pay, in that example, make their money? Will they be taking a small percentage, like credit cards take a percentage now? Will it be a small percentage, or how does that work?
Yes, correct. There's always going to be some sort of a fee for the merchant processor.
Right. Okay, that's fair enough. And with regards to, I think you mentioned, or we talked about it before on a previous call and on a private call, I think, with the likes of transaction-wise, Bitcoin is not able to cope with millions and millions of transactions of people walking into a coffee shop and buying coffee using Bitcoin. If all those transactions took place simultaneously, Bitcoin wouldn't be able to cope, and that's where FuelCoin comes in. Is that right?
That's correct, and that's because Bitcoin is relying on very substantial, large mining operations to confirm transactions in addition to creating new Bitcoins. And if the number of people using Bitcoin doubled overnight, they would take a number of days before they purchased and implemented enough hardware to make it fast again. Whereas FuelCoin, because of the nature of the technology, if it was to bring in twice as many people tomorrow, all of those people individually would be adding to the power of the network because they'd be downloading wallets and participating on the network. So it can grow, FuelCoin can grow exponentially overnight and keep up and get stronger, whereas Bitcoin takes time to physically order the hardware, implement it, and get it running again. It could take several days, if not weeks. It can't handle it.
So Bitcoin needs FuelCoin, and FuelCoin needs Bitcoin, really. And is that right?
Well,
they both need.
Bitcoin needs, and it's been pretty well openly discussed through people like Andreas Anatopoulos. There are going to be niche coins that help take the burden off the Bitcoin network. So you're able to, these little niche coins are going to be able to help pull transactions from the Bitcoin network. And let's say we do 100 Bitcoins worth of transactions in FuelCoins for pennies here, pennies there, pennies, tens of thousands of transactions that total up to 100 Bitcoins. When it's time to transfer that money around in Bitcoin, it's only one transaction of 100 rather than tens of thousands of pennies in transactions. That's what's wrong with Bitcoin. It can't handle the tens upon tens of thousands of transactions where these little niche coins can. And then when it's time to move the money around, it's only one transaction on the Bitcoin network.
Right. So how do you prove then that FuelCoin is actually faster than Bitcoin then? How do you actually prove it?
Well, the fastest way to do it is to have somebody open up a wallet and send them a coin.
And it's normally within a few seconds, is that right?
Well,
a couple of seconds?
Well, here's the coded algorithm, which is undeniable. Bitcoin is designed around a 6 confirmation blockchain with a 1 minute. I forgot. I can't believe it. I think there are 6 minutes per block, and it's going to take 6 confirmations to completely confirm a Bitcoin. So what's 6 times 6? 36 minutes is the fastest Bitcoin can be fully confirmed. Now, there are companies that are allowing for 0 confirmation processing, and then they wait for the network to catch up. FuelCoin is designed around a 3-second to 3-minute confirmation process. So if you send a Bitcoin to somebody, it could take up to 6 minutes, if not 6 hours. I've had that happen before they even see that you meant to send them the money. But it can take up to 6 to 12 hours before it's confirmed and you can use it again. FuelCoin, because it's designed around 3 seconds and 3 minutes, you're going to see it within 3 seconds, and it will be fully confirmed and available to you within 3 minutes on average. That's much faster.
Wow, that's incredible. What about does it make any difference in the amount of money you're sending? If you're sending $1 million or $10 million in Bitcoin to somebody across the other side of the world, does it make any difference in the amount of money?
It actually does make a difference. The fees go up quite a bit because it increases, quote unquote, the block size, and it might take multiple blocks to actually transact that, but that isn't true with the proof of stake coins.
And with regards to proof of stake coins, what is unique? You may have covered this, but getting asked all the time, what is different about FuelCoin unique compared to all the other out there? And are there any copycats? Are people trying to copy FuelCoin? Because FuelCoin's been around probably the longest, 2 years, isn't it? So we're a much more mature coin, 2 years old. So have any other coins tried to copy FuelCoin? Because I wouldn't have thought FuelCoin, other coin, because it's been out before, isn't it, first?
Well, the X11 algorithm, which creates the proof of stake, is actually taking pieces of 11 different cryptocurrencies and bringing them together to create the proof of stake algorithm. So technically, there's 11 coins that were out before, and FuelCoin is a copy of the algorithms put together to create the X11 thing. There are other proof of stake coins out there. However, time to the market matters. FuelCoin was the very first proof of stake coin that was 100% pre-mined. FuelCoin, as of about 4 months ago, 3.5, 4 months ago, was the very first relevant cryptocurrency to be fully distributed, 100% distributed. So time to the market. It was one of the first proof of stake coins out there, and it is absolutely the very first cryptocurrency of relevance that has been fully distributed.
So all
it's
the other
first deflationary
coins, they haven't been fully distributed. All the other, the X11, the 10 before, have they been fully distributed as well?
No, they're not. They're still being allocated. There's other platforms that are mining these types of things. They're still being distributed. At this point, I can't personally see any other cryptocurrency that's going to be able to say what I just said for at least another 2 years.
So why didn't the other 10 coins, why didn't they go fully distributed? Why didn't they do the same as FuelCoin then?
Well, again, the industry was different at the time. When coins were being announced and launched, by the way, there's a lot of really great coins. I'm crypto neutral. I love any good, solid quality product. But when a new coin was being launched with a quote unquote 2% pre-mine for the developers and the rest for the public, it was like a death sentence. So coming out and say it's a 100% pre-mined coin was the most radical statement ever. And it was crazy. It was absurd, but it worked. And so you're going to probably see more of these products coming, or more of these types of coins coming in the future. But I'm saying that FuelCoin is the first one to reach it, and it was a pioneer in it. And there's also a number of coins that are literally using the FuelCoin's algorithm.
Right. Okay. Wow. Okay. Right. Okay. We've been going an hour and 40 minutes now. So I'm starting to get burnt out here. So any more questions, guys? And I'm just going to go through my crib sheet here and just to see if I got anything more to ask. But we've covered quite a lot tonight, and we're going to be doing this. I haven't decided yet. We're going to do it every Sunday or every Thursday. We'll see how things go. We'll probably do one this Thursday at 9 o'clock anyway, while I think about it. And so we'll do this Thursday again, 9 o'clock. Any more questions? And I think that's probably about it. We probably covered everything, Gary, haven't we? Unless you want to even think of something.
Well, people will find quickly, and I've already found that spending too much time with me, their brains start to get mushed. And I don't want to add to that. There's lots more to cover, but let's let this digest. And people, if you have questions, please do ask Adrian. If we need to set up a private and direct call, if there's another little group, we can arrange another time for very specific questions, and we're happy to answer.
Yeah, that's a good point, guys. If any of you want a more of a private one-on-one call with me and Gary, like a 3, 4, 5, or just a small group of 5, 6 people. A more sort of an
interactive call.
Call.
We can make a more interactive call where everybody can talk.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, if anyone's interested, guys, just send me a message on Facebook or in the WhatsApp group. And if you want a bit of a more personal, so a bit more TLC, and that'll be great. So Denise is saying thanks for making it as clear as possible. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for that, Denise. Just going to check if there's any questions on my Facebook channel. It's all looking clear there. So yes, I'm going to call it a night, Gary. We still got over 50, 25, 47, 50, about 58 people, I think, that have just been watching for the last an hour and 45 minutes. That's really good. I'm very pleased with that.
Well, congratulations, all you commandos.
Right, yeah. So that's great, Gary. I'm going to catch up with you, and I'll probably speak to you tomorrow. We normally have a daily update, myself and Gary, and every time I have a call with Gary, it always gives me more confidence to move on to the next day, and just keeps me plugged into FuelCoin every day. I'm getting more excited every day as it moves on, you know.
I will share one thing. Our pricing right now has been pretty stable where we've been at, even though the price of Bitcoin's been fluctuating around. I work with a number of other direct distributors privately, and there's some pretty big orders coming in this next week and a half. So prices may change.
So you mean obviously for the better, then obviously on the up, you mean?
Usually,
potentially.
Usually if I'm processing orders myself, yeah, the prices go up.
That's very interesting. And what did you say? I remember, I'm not sure if you want to talk about it. You said once if the coin does reach a level of I don't know, 10 cents or 20 cents, then it's going to be more appealing to like larger, bigger investors. Is that right? Who may come on at a later date with large amounts of money?
No.
Is that right?
Quite literally, the price is too low to actually even be talking to some of the people who want to participate. Their orders are too big. We won't let them have that many coins and that much control. So we are limiting the size of the orders, and there's a number of people that I personally know that have larger orders than we can handle today that we will be approaching again.
Yeah, like I find that incredible, because most companies out there would be happy to take 20, 50, 100 grand off somebody, wouldn't they, to put into their business?
Yeah, there's another entire pool of people who don't even think about projects unless they can throw $50,000 to $200,000 at it.
And what you're saying is we're not ready for that kind of money yet. We're just the people the people like the new people I'm bringing into this. That you want the smaller people first, so they can benefit first in the early days before we hit the big time. Then is that right?
Well, the overall desire is to get it out to as many people as possible at smaller and smaller increments. That way, it balances out the power, so to speak, and it gives the most people the most advantage and the most benefit. And Adrian and I just started working together about 5 weeks ago, and we've just literally started. Our penetration is just getting out there, and it's starting to get a viral rate now. And so our desire is to truly bring the price of the coin up in a very slow, steady, manageable way. So we can't sell too many coins to one person at any one time, because it'll cause potentially an artificial spike in the market.
So I think you were saying that you'd rather have 50 people with $1,000 worth of fuel coins, so like a $50,000 input with 50 people times 1,000, rather than one person with $50,000. Is that right? Absolutely.
It takes a lot of work to piss off 1,000 people at once. It doesn't take much work to piss off one person with 50,000.
Okay, then, guys, we're going to leave it at that. Call it a night, and it's been a good hour, a very productive an hour and 45 minutes. I'm very happy with what's been done tonight and what we covered. This has been recorded. That's the good news. So I'll get the recording out. There'll be in all the groups and an email sent out as well. And we're going to do it all again. This is going to be every week, Thursday, 9 o'clock again. And we'll have to decide that we'll be doing on a Sunday as well. But I'll catch up with you tomorrow, Gary, and for an update, a daily update. And I'm going to call it a night there. And have a good night, everyone. And I'll speak to you soon, okay? Thanks a lot, Gary.
Thank you, everyone, for your time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, Gary. Cheers, mate. Bye.